Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Monogatari of and Monster Season episode number 13 reaction. So the previous episode, the whole investigation for the to find out who the culprit is has come to a standstill. We got another clue, another thing, what do you call it, code, and we were able to decipher it and found out that it was like F and C, which kind of, I guess, translates to fan club, so Kanbaru's fan club, something related to that. But we kind of went to kind of reached like a stalemate because we don't have any other way to go. But for now, that is on hold, and we have to take care of the situation before Kaganui comes, because Kaganui has like a personal vendetta against Dystopia. So Dystopia, after that, she awakens, and after like 600 years, she has met Shinobu again. They had a hearty laugh, and that's where it ended. So let's see what happens today in this episode. Let us begin. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is a preference, and let's get started. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Hmm. Okay. Right. What the? Is this Kanbaru's? Oh yeah, this is Kanbaru's place. I forgot about that. Okay. Oh, belongings. Oh, locker room. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, that is true. Yeah. Possibility of an after school event. Beautiful boys detect. Yeah. Right. Wait, so turned off. Okay. True. Investigate for intern that. I see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Do you know the? Okay. For the one who had the blood. Same. Okay. Okay. Oh. What? What if it's like Suicide Masters? Uh, how is that even possible? She was. I don't think so. Will it? Right. Hmm. Which is? Yeah, and also like she was like unconscious for quite a while as well. Yeah. Like okay, we have to ask her. Yeah. Oh, she was back. Hmm. Damn. What the hell? Okay. Why is she shining from the? Oh. Hmm. Uh, yeah. Oh yeah. During the spring break. Yeah, that whole thing. Wait. So. Okay. Yeah, that's why she came here. Hmm. Hideout. Oh, her place. Okay. Get out of this country. Well. Right. Okay. So, what did Shinobu tell her that he's her slave or the? Yeah. Whoa. What was that about? Oh. Well, that makes sense. Starvation. Oh. Oh my god. Yeah? What? Oh wait, so she did. Wait, so what? So she got food poisoning by consuming blood from a high school girl? Yeah. Yeah, because yeah, she was weakened as well. Hmm. Bro. Right. Yeah, okay, makes sense. Yeah, they even explained it in the previous episode. That's what happened. Yeah. Hmm. That's why she wanted to have a meal, I guess. Wow. Just like how Shinobu told Aragi. That's funny. Shinobu literally said the same thing to Aragi. Hmm. Yeah, she took, like, she fed local food stuff. That is hilarious. High school girls are local food stuff. What? Wait, why are you looking at what? Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Damn. Hmm. Right. Damn. Wow, that. Yeah, so I think I understand. So basically, that girl, she obviously we saw her the way she was, like, frustrated and everything that was going on with her life. So yeah, she was knocked out, over. So then someone else tried to pin the blame on her and started feeding. Yup. Ramification from a failed was. Oh wow, that makes sense. Hmm. Oh, did that girl become a vampire? I just realized that's what happened. The girl she fed on. But no, they found her. They found her. Okay, no. There you go. Okay, so wait. So one of the girls became. But then didn't we find her body? Yeah, that would make sense, and that would answer a lot of questions. Yeah, and she was saying like she was very frustrated. We saw that in the very first episode. Peer pressure, dragging each other down. Yeah. Wait. Okay. Wait a minute. Oh wait. You found out the guy still was on phone. Oh, so we didn't find her body. Okay, I was making a big mistake then. Okay. Yeah, and she knew that name, and that's why she started writing the same name as a. Yeah, and pinned the blame on her. That's why the messages, the codes. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, I would think that was the case because. Hmm. Fan club. Yep. Yeah, that was the thing to throw at them off. Order. Okay. Order. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, she was never. Okay, I made a big mistake. I thought she was. Her body was also found. Second victim. Third victim. Yeah. Huh. There you go. So she was a successful vampirization case. That is true. Hmm. Probably one of the other girls in the basketball club. Yeah. But. Oh. Oh. Wait, maybe she'll be targeting Kanbaru's little meeting that they'll have. Oh, she doesn't know about it. They'll be fine. Damn. Hmm. Hmm. Attempt. That's true. Okay, I see. So it's a matter of intent. Okay, you can. That is true as well. That wasn't her intention. So, hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, same thing with Aragi that, like, I guess. Mm, okay. Yeah? What? Yeah? Okay. Um, damn. Where's Kanbaru? This is. What other Aragi senpai is there? Yeah, this is how everyone knows them? Oh no. Okay, what the hell? Wow. Okay. Well, we have pressing matters to talk about. Oh my god. Are you. No, they'll probably put on like girl. Yeah, female clothing. He'll have to cross dress. I guess it's not really cross dressing, it's just wearing a dress. Damn. Okay. Well, the mystery got solved as to what was going on with the dystopia situation. And yeah, now we have another vampire on our hand. Right. Okay, like I was under a big misconception up until now. Otherwise, I would have been able to realize who the criminal, like who the person was who's doing this way earlier. I was under the misconception that what was her name? Like this is the thing. So many characters were introduced in this arc back to back, like on all the victims. I completely mixed up their names. So didn't realize. I thought the girl who we saw at the very beginning, when Dystopia comes in front of her, I thought that girl's body was also found. That's what I thought. So it never crossed my head that maybe her case became a success. That's why I'm saying if I didn't wasn't under that misconception, I would have been able to come to this conclusion way earlier because this is pretty damn obvious what's going on. Like So yeah, like that was that was my mistake. I thought we actually found her body, so it was not possible for her to be the the person who's doing all of this. But no, it turns out that was just my misunderstanding. And yeah, like I just didn't remember the name properly. I still don't remember the name. Okay, that's it. Mm, that was today's episode. They literally, excuse me, mentioned the name today in this episode again, and I've again forgotten because there's so many of them. Like back to back, all the names. Like like I kind of mixed up the names, and yeah, I just assumed that her body was also found. So no, that wasn't the case. So yeah, like I even while knowing that or at least and being under the misconception that her body was found, I still came to the conclusion today that maybe her case was a success. Maybe she actually became a vampire and she's the one who's doing all of this. But then I was like, no, how is that possible? Her body was found, so how can she be the person doing this? But then like they literally showed us, and like I just realized that, oh damn, so that was just my misunderstanding. I just mixed up the names and I thought her body was also found. If that's not the case, then that is definitely what is happening. Her case became a success. She became an actual minion, like a proper, like living breathing minion. And she it's kind of interesting because like she became a minion who was like completely okay, but Dystopia, the one who consumed her blood because of whatever poisonous nature of high school girls' blood or whatever, she got mummified. And like the whole opposite things happened. The person, like the hunter became the hunted, that type of thing. Good God. And this girl decided that, all right, you know what? Fantastic opportunity. Let me just, start going and like sucking all the other like basketball club members, all of their blood and mummifying them. Let me start doing that. And let me take Dystopia somewhere and just bury her so that she doesn't pose a problem. And I can actually put the blame on her because nobody knows that she's a vampire. She was a normal high school girl up until that night, so it would be very easy to pin the blame on Dystopia, who's actually a vampire. So that was her whole plan. Yeah, there you go. So today my misconception got clear. I just thought her body was also found, so I never thought that she could be the criminal. Because the very first scene in this arc, we saw Dystopia coming and meeting her, so it would have been extremely obvious that she was the one who's doing this, or she might be the one who is actually doing all of this now. But it never occurred to me because I thought, and I was under the misconception that her body was found. Either way, so that's what's going on over here. Now it's very interesting, because I don't know, like she said, like her blood was poisonous or something. Is that because she had? Because we saw that girl. Okay, what was her name? Just a minute. I need to remember her name. Sowa Kiseki, that's her name. So Kiseki, her was it because she was like we saw in the very first episode that she was saying stuff like, oh damn, I don't like going to the basketball club anymore. They like force us to do things and we aren't that good as well. We saw like she was like complaining about it, and then she was thinking like, oh damn, like I hope someone comes and like hits me or like hospitalizes me so that I don't need to go to the basketball club anymore or something. Like she was like thinking of those crazy stuff, and then Dystopia comes in front of her. So someone whose mentality is like that, like self-destructive mentality, just so that they can get out of a certain situation. Maybe, just a minute, guys. A lot of sound is coming. Let me. Okay. Right. Let me move closer to the mic. Sounds are coming from the outside, so I had to reduce the volume. Okay. So yeah, where was I? So yeah, maybe that was the problem. Like maybe because she was like that and she was like that self-destructive, maybe that's why her blood was. Yeah, maybe that's why her blood was. Oh no, wait a minute, I think I just realized. Okay, it's probably because of her, like how she is as a person, because obviously Princess Acerola she wanted to consume Princess Acerola's blood because she was like the most pure-hearted and pure-souled person, if you remember that. And that is why her blood was probably exquisite, to Dystopia. So maybe it was the extreme opposite for Kiseki, where her heart was probably the complete opposite of like what, like like not very straightforward, not very pure. Maybe her soul was like that, and maybe that's why, like, not only her, maybe the like a lot of other characters here, a lot of other, like like people, if she consumed their blood, maybe she would get like like food poisoning as well, because that's how much people have changed, and like the simplicity in people have just dwindled day by day. And not only that, Acerola, as Princess Acerola, was obviously like the most purest soul person that could have the most purest soul. And she is a gourmet. She loves like consuming like high quality stuff, like Princess Acerola's blood and stuff. So maybe someone like that, like, as she said, normal like local food, consuming that, she just her stomach got like a like wasn't okay with it. Maybe that's why, something like that, I'm assuming, because yeah, because this is the thing, like nowadays, obviously, like like as she says, the even Guyan mentioned this, like, damn, I shouldn't have gotten inside that phone and tried to delve into a high school girl's territory. And she kind of implied that it was crazy what was going on in the chat and everything, so it's probably something like that. Like, Princess Acerola was that the exquisite, most best quality like blood, while here we have Kiseki, who's just a normal girl, and her blood was probably like so much inferior that like Dystopia, after consuming it, literally like damaged her own body and just like completely had like a food poisoning. Maybe that's what happened. I'm assuming it's something like that, you know. Right. But the crazy thing that happened was that this time it was a success. She actually became a minion. And they mentioned this before to us, that the cases like Aragi are very rare. Most of the time, like, I feel like it's probably like there's like a 99% chance that the person that you'll try to consume the blood from, like a vampire, they won't become a minion. They will just become a mummy, like a ghoulish entity, which we have seen multiple times. The rare 1% chance that it succeeds is basically cases like Araragi. What was his name? The first, Kid Shot's first minion. I forgot his name. So say Seijuro. I forgot his name. Anyways, him, and now this girl Kiseki. So maybe stuff like that. Like that's the no, maybe that's the situation, and like it's, and that is why, since it's so rare, kids, Dystopia never thought that, oh, like she was just like, oh, I'm just going to have like a little bit of a meal so that I can go back to my, or at least try to go back to my original form, and I'm meeting my friend after so long. I wouldn't want to go in front of her in like a childlike state. Like, no, that won't be very okay. Like, that'll be, I want to show off. So that's why she was like, all right, it's been so many years, 600 years, I haven't had a meal. Let me have a meal. And she just went and grabbed a girl in the road, middle of the road, and tried to suck her blood, and then realized, god damn, her blood is absolutely crazy, and had food poisoning. And like, crazily enough, she actually became a minion, like a proper successful like minion. Like, that 1% chance that actually hit. Kiseki became a vampire, and Dystopia became the victim here from food poisoning. Then Kiseki realized that, alright, perfect opportunity. I hate the basketball club girls. Let me just teach them all a lesson. And how to properly teach them a lesson, because obviously I'm sure she like probably realized that if she goes crazy, maybe people will come and try to stop her. So how to avoid that? Obviously putting the blame on Dystopia. So she decided to just like transfer Dystopia somewhere where she cannot make much problem. So she just buried her, and went on a like spree of like like sucking blood from the basketball club girls. And that's what happened, and everyone is like thinking like, oh, it's Dystopia doing it, but it wasn't Dystopia, it was her. And that was exactly what she wanted. She wanted everyone to put the blame on Dystopia. So her plan was successful. Also, to so that that exactly happens, people don't suspect her and people suspect Dystopia. She started doing those like those living messages, like as they said here in today's episode, where there was a section where Aragi says like maybe the victims are the ones who like wrote the name, and like they couldn't even recognize Kiseki because Kiseki hair and eye color changed. We saw that. So first Aragi was like maybe couldn't recognize her, and that's why Kiseki introduced herself as Dystopia. That's why they wrote that name. Or maybe it wasn't the victims at all. Maybe it was Kiseki herself who like orchestrated and crafted the whole dying and the living messages, that whole living message thing. Maybe she's the one who did that to pin the blame on Dystopia. Either of it. I also think it was Kiseki who did that. So there you go. That's what's going on over here. So that makes perfect sense. Dystopia was just a victim in this situation, and yeah. But a lot of other things was also discussed in today's episode. First and foremost, here's the thing. Like they talk about like intention. Like even though like what is going on currently isn't what Dystopia is doing, she is the one who started this. That is true. She came here and had a meal, and it was because of her failure or success in this rate. Because it wasn't a failure, it was a success. She successfully created Minion. That this problem is happening now. So that kind of thing. Either way, there you go. So mystery has been solved, and now we need to take care of Kitsuki. So Aragi leaves to go and meet the basketball club girls in in the meeting, the Kanbaru's meeting, and because obviously that is, and here Aragi says like, I don't know if Kiseki knows that Kanbaru would be there, but even if she doesn't no, she's probably going there because the club members will be there. Here we go. This part. Though this must be another arbitrary decision, Kiseki might not necessarily know the gathering of the Suruga Kanbaru and Seiyu Higasa Rejain. Yeah, and even if she did, she may be limiting the targets to only the current team members, which I also think that's what she is doing. I doubt she's going off of every single basketball club member that ever existed there. Why would she do that? She's probably limiting it to the current team members. Yeah, so there you go. And right, so now Aragi has gone there to take care of the situation, and all the basketball club girls are bullying him now. Fantastic. God damn, there's so many of them in that one place. How many of them are there? Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 people in the same room, and all of them are, or I guess you could say a few of them are like, I guess I was going to say a few of them are seniors, but I guess Aragi is a university student now. He's way more senior than them. Yeah. Right. All right. That was today's episode. Was there anything else I want to discuss? Oh, obviously the main thing: Shinobu and Dystopia meeting. Now, Dystopia here like thanks Aragi because obviously he saved Shinobu. Not only did he save Shinobu, he saved Dystopia as well. So there's 2 times when she literally saved both Kiss Shot and Dystopia's life. So obviously she thanked him because of that. I think Aragi was actually very concerned at the beginning. When she was like, "Oh, come closer, I'm going to thank you." Aragi was not sure what to do here because obviously this is the first time Aragi is meeting Dystopia, so he doesn't know what to expect. The only vampire that I guess you could say is friendly with him, kind of, is Shinobu. And most of the other times the meeting with vampire or vampire hunters has never gone well with Aragi. The whole thing in Kizumonogatari, all those the vampire hunters episode dramaturgy, all of them, that whole thing then Seishuro, I think that's his name, isn't it? Like the first minion. That whole meeting with him as well didn't go well, and so like Aragi doesn't know what to expect from vampires at this point, except Shinobu, and obviously Dystopia is supposed to be like the legendary vampire who has been alive for like thousands of years. She is like Shinobu's creator, you could say. So someone like that, if they're like calling him like, "Oh, come here, I'm going to thank you," he doesn't know. He was freaked out here, I think. But then when she was like, "Oh, I thank you so much, for helping me and Shinobu out in times of our need," and like bows her head, Aragi kind of like let out a sigh of relief, and he was like, like like thank God, this person is at least reasonable. If I go close, she won't like chop my hair off or something. She won't do any of that stuff, you know. And yeah, like what we have seen of the Dystopia up until now in the flashbacks and everything, she is not a type of person like that, yeah, she's a reasonable person. I wouldn't call her good or evil. I would probably say that she's more in the neutral territory, but she's not like she's like a good type of neutral. Like she's not like unreasonable or does weird stuff or does like impulsive things. So like yeah, like I didn't like I wasn't really concerned as to whether she would harm Aragi or not. She definitely wouldn't have. But anyways, that was the thing. Now I don't know exactly what Shinobu told her, because Shinobu told Araragi that please, for tonight, can you be my like minion, like my slave, and not the vice versa, because I want to show off in front of my creator. Same thing. It's kind of funny because Destova literally said the same thing here as well. She was like, "Oh, since I was her creator, I wanted to show off a little bit, coming in front of her in little like in this state with something that I didn't want to happen. That's why I just wanted a quick meal, and look at what that got me into, this whole troublesome situation." So anyways, so yeah, Shinobu did ask that from Aragi, and Aragi was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." So I do wonder, like Dystopia says here that she told me everything. So I'm assuming she probably didn't mention that, oh, it's actually like I am contracted with him, not the reverse. Like he's not my slave. It's actually the reverse. I don't know if she said that. She probably didn't. She probably like what she told Aragi. That's probably what she said. And she told Dystopia that, oh, like he is my slave or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not really sure what she did there. But right, yeah, that's probably what she said. I think so. Otherwise, why would he ask Aragi for permission if she didn't really? But the question here is, I would assume Dystopia believed her, because I was going to say, did Dystopia believe that? Did Dystopia, But yeah, why would she not believe her? That wouldn't make any sense. You know what? We'll see, because like I thought we were going to get a lot more conversation with Dystopia and Aragi today, but we barely had any conversation. We just like Aragi just went there and talked to her a little bit, and she like pointed us in the correct direction and went there. So I feel like there needs to be an episode where like Shinobu should be present, Aragi should be there, and Dystopia should be there, and they should have like a proper conversation. Then I feel like a lot of the questions I have will probably get answered there. Because I'm sure Dystopia would want to know what exactly happened and the details. Shinobu probably told her, but like a lot other stuff happened as well, which is it's not really enough time to explain everything. So I hope there's an episode like that in the future where they just talk about the situation, classic Monogatari style, like one full episode, just conversation. But we'll see. I don't know. Like yeah. Right. Was there anything else? Okay. Nah, I think that was it. Yeah, the whole mystery has been solved, and now Aragi is on his way so that he can capture the person who's doing this, Kiseki. Right, and that's why he's there. Okay, so Hachikuji is there with Dystopia, while they didn't mention anything about Shinobu. So obviously Aragi is here, so I'm guessing Shinobu's probably in her in his shadow. So yeah, I think everything will be okay since Shinobu's there with him. After he encounters Kiseki. But that's crazy. Just imagine, Kiseki is so like crazy in that sense. Is that like like a vampire comes and bites you, and you realize you've become a vampire. Instead of panicking or like thinking what should I do, she completely turned the whole thing around and decided to bury Dystopia and went on a whole feeding spree. I was going to call it killing spree, but then I realized nobody has died here, so it's not really a killing spree, but more of a feeding spree. You know, how much like mentally like crazy you need to be to act like this? Like, just imagine. Good God, like damn. Okay, right, and yeah, there you go. That was today's episode. That was that. Now let me talk about this episode scene by scene. Okay, in the very first scene, we see both Shinobu and Dystopia are laughing. They had a hearty laugh, and Gain is like, okay, let them talk. Like, let us humans get out of here. So Hachikuji was also there. She was like supervising them, and I do wonder, because Hachikuji was there. I do wonder like if Hachikuji said stuff over here. Like, they were probably talking, and maybe like I'm sure Shinobu was told her that, Dystopia, that, oh, as she said that Aragi is my slave. I wonder if Hachikuji interjected in that or something, because like Hachikuji is a type of character who's definitely going to interject into conversations um like this. So I do wonder. I'm very curious as to what they talked about. Maybe they'll show that to us later in the future episodes. Anyways, I'm talking about Dystopia and Shinobu, what they talked about. I do wonder. Anyways, so Aragi goes, and Gain talks to him, and Gain is like, things are not looking good. The other victim has been found, but this time she hasn't been found, but her stuff has been found. Her school dress, her school uniform, her gym uniform, or like the basketball team uniform, and her shoes and everything was found in the locker. Now Aragi is obviously like, yeah, in the locker, so what's the problem? Like, dresses are supposed to be in the lockers. At which Gain says, but just think about it, is her school uniform and her basketball club like dress. So both of them in the locker. So what was she wearing when she went out? Nothing? What, you're thinking like she's just going around the town stark naked or something? Obviously not. That's not the case. So that is the weird thing in this situation, because both of her like uniforms are there in the locker room, and she's nowhere to be found. Okay. So also she said that Gain says that the stuff over there in the locker is kind of like haphazardly like stuffed. It's not as bad as this room, but everything was packed in one big mess. It's like things were getting in the way, were randomly shoved in. If Soa Kiseki's mummy had been found first, if she had her belongings stripped down to this extent, it would have been pretty difficult to identify the individual. Wait a minute. What? Wait. Am I misunderstanding something? Oh, wait. Okay. Oh, I just realized. Yeah, like I said, I was like, like my, like I'm mixing up the names. So, okay, Sowa Kiseki's belongings have been found, not the fifth victim or whatever. Her belongings have been found, and she hasn't been found. Okay, this makes more sense. I was thinking like, what's going on over here? Again, the names are kind of making me a little bit like misunderstand a few things. Now I understand properly. So she hasn't been found because she is the criminal in this situation. But at this point, obviously, Aragi and Gain didn't know that, so they're like, oh, she hasn't been found, but her stuff has been found in the locker room. It was all as if it was just put in like in a big like hurry. And that's why Gain says, if Soa Kiseki's mummy had been found first, if she had her belongings stripped down to this extent, it would have been pretty difficult to identify the individual. Yeah. Which means that equals the difficulty of the case being resolved. But it's strange why just Kiseki? Why such a shoddy cover up? Yeah, like would why suddenly go, to this extent to cover this up, because that hasn't been happening up until now. Why her? Um, and she says, a guy says it's not shoddy, it's malicious. Cell phone had been turned off, of course. They were shoved in pretty roughly, but there was great care taken in as well. Furthermore, the fact that a vampire has stepped into the school is too dangerous for the girls' basketball team members. And when I inferred the reason why only Kiseki got this covered up, I end up at quite a horrible conclusion, Koyomin, which means the investigative intel that we've identifying individuals from the mummy's belongings has been disclosed to the so obviously they're little by little coming to the conclusion that something weird is going on, and like somehow the person, the culprit in this situation, they know a lot more than we think that they know, you know and like that kind of thing. It's highly likely that investigative intel is being leaked to the vampire side. Right. Okay, and then after that they talk about like finding the genes, the DNA sample of all the victims is the same as desktop. And this is the part where it struck me. I was like, wait a minute, what if one of the girls didn't actually become a mummy, and they're the one who became a vampire, and they're the one who's doing this? But then I was like, how is that possible? Because all the girls' body have been found. Like I said, I completely, I didn't, like, I was under the misconception that Suwakiseki's body has been found, because the names kind of confused me. That's why I was like, how is that even possible then? But as I obviously later on I realized that no, since she was never found, she wasn't there, that means it's pretty damn obvious that she's the one who's doing this, because she actually was a successful case of becoming a vampire minion. I know, because that's what happened, and she had a lot of grudge for the members and everything. That's why she's doing this. Okay. Okay, so here Aragi says that if we can bring these girls back, would that also make because obviously, like just for the sake of it, let's think that Dystopia was the one who did all of this. If you can bring these girls back from their ghoul form, will it be okay? Can we, like forgive her? At which Guyan says that if that is the case, then that would mean Suicide Master for 600 years hasn't fed, she was starving, and now after coming here, she, like she had a bite, and now she's going overboard. So in that way, it would be like she would be dangerous. But at the same time, Gan also says that at the same time, it's kind of absurd to think that someone like Dystopia, the mighty vampire, the legendary vampire who's been living for 1,000 years, they would sneak into a girl's locker room, secretly fiddle with the lockers. That in itself is very weird, which is true. Like, that's kind of weird. That wouldn't be happening. So it's like, we don't know what's going on at this point, at least. And nobody can say what's like happening, and if whether Dystopia is the one who's doing this or she's not, and what type of punishment she'll get after this thing gets resolved. Either way, then Shinobu comes in, and Shinobu's like, Dystopia wants to meet you. So Aragi comes in front of Dystopia, and Dystopia's like introduces herself, and you can see like Aragi is kind of freaking out here. Like I said, it makes sense. Dystopia is supposed to be Shinobu's like creator, so it's kind of a like intimidating thing, I guess you could say. Anyways, Dystopia is like, I would like to like give you my gratitude. Obviously, not only did you save me, you saved Kiss Shot as well from dying. And here Dystopia says, like, I came to this place to see if my friend is okay. I've heard that she was defeated here. I was concerned, so I came here. And obviously, after so long since we were going to meet, I didn't want to stay in this form to meet her. So I wanted to show off, and that's why I did that. And I got food poisoning. Right. Okay, yeah, so here, Dystopia also says, like, now that I've seen that Kishore is okay, I'm just going to go back. But it seems like you guys are in a little bit of trouble, you know. So, you know, seeing the like fact that Kishshot is in a little bit of a pickle here, and you being her, like, no, seeing that someone who like you who is Kishshot's savior is in a pickle like that, I would like to help you, you know. So, you know, like in this whole situation, which is where okay, wait a minute. Oh, also another thing she says. She also says that like I'm thankful for the fact that you saved Kiss Shot, but at the same time, since you are the person that you know, like Shinobu, like Kiss Shot Acerola has been waiting for, like the one Prince Charming, like I would like to make sure that you are worthy enough, you know. So this situation that is happening now, like, can you deal with this? Can you help me out to go back? Because obviously in this situation she won't be allowed to go out of this place, because you know she's the at least one of the suspects in this whole incident, you know. So basically she's saying that solve the case for me, Araragi, and show me that you're capable enough, you know. At which Araragi is like, fine, you know, but I'll have to ask you a few questions. So first and foremost, the biggest question he asks her, that why were you mummified, like, you know, what, like, and why were you like buried in the dirt, like what the hell happened there? And this is where she's like, oh, someone buried me, you know, that's what happened. And this is where she says that, like, you know, like this is where she um like tells everyone what actually happened. So she talks about obviously food poisoning, because that's what happened, and that's why she became a mummy like that. And she talks about how she, like, you know, after so long she also wanted to show off a little bit, you know, like back then when she 600 years ago, when she had, like, you know, she was with Kishshot, or Acerola. At that point she was Acerola. When she was with Acerola, she was obviously the mighty vampire, but now after so long she hasn't fed and everything, she's like become like a little kid. She has regressed because of starvation. So she wanted to show off after so long, that, you know, like that she's meeting her friend. So she decided to just have a little bit of, you know, like food. And she also talks about how she fell through the barrier as well. I like how she says that Hachikuji's barrier isn't something dangerous or that's going to like completely just like push you out, or like, you know, completely destroy you if you go in. None of that. Her barrier is a more calmer sort. It's like a very like mild, like a barrier which gently, like, you know, like makes you like leave the place, like, you know, like what's exactly, here we go, it's a barrier of path obstruction that quietly gets you lost. Yeah. So the problem here was that, like, she was so weak that it, like, I think they kind of explained this in the previous episode as well, that her she wasn't, like, you know, like deemed as like a threat or something. I guess that's what happened, and that's why she just crashed in, like, you know. Here we go. I was so shocked to find that I've been weakened to this extent, if I may say, that she just slipped through. So that's why she was like, I have to have a meal. So, you know, to show off in front of Kishshot, after now that she's going to meet her, she went to the streets to find a meal. And this is where she came across Kiseki, who, as she calls, a local food. Local food, bro. And she's like, oh, like, you know, like she talks about, like, you know, obviously, like, you know, like the etiquette, like, you know, before eating, like itadakimasu and all that. And she says like maybe that was the fault, maybe I didn't do that, maybe that's why I got food poisoning. But, you know, like, you know, typical Monogatari fashion, they kind of explain the whole section. And but the main thing is that she, you know, like took blood from her, and the result was food poisoning. And like I said, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm assuming the reason why she got food poisoning is because of the nature of the soul. Because that is probably what made Acerola's like blood so exquisite, because she had the most purest soul. So the more convoluted you will be, the more, like, you know, like murky your soul will be. Maybe that would give, and also the fact that she's a gourmet, she only like has high, like, you know, like high like, you know, good stuff, she only has like good stuff, high level, like, stuff, food stuff that she always consumes. So if she suddenly comes somewhere and tries like a local dish, she might get food poisoning, basically something like that. Yeah, and she died. And then we all know what happened after that, like, oh no, then she says, like, then Kiseki was a successful case. She actually became a vampire, you know, and she's the one who took me and buried me in the dirt, and now she's going on a feeding spree because like, like the whole blame is falling on me because I'm the legendary vampire and nobody knows she's a vampire. So she like planned all of this after like she became a vampire. She completely planned this, decided to like hide me somewhere and go do her thing and pin the blame on me, basically. That's what's going on. Right. Yeah, and so mystery has been solved, obviously. um okay. Yeah, so this is where Aragi says, like, this is the time I realized there's one girls basketball team player who was not under surveillance. So Akiseki. Yeah, so this is where after that they come to the conclusion. There we go. Kiseki found out that Miss Gain's team has been looking for her mummy and stuffed her personal belongings in her locker to confuse the investigators. There you go. The two living messages Miniko deciphered for me. Signature 2. Yeah. And this is where I says when Suicide Master drank Kiseki's blood, we've seen she always does this. She introduces herself, as we know the certain death, that whole thing that she says, and then she tells her full name. So that is why Kiseki got to know her name, and which means Kiseki has ascertained the name of the vampire who assaulted her. And then after she became a vampire, she decided to use that name as a living message to throw off the investigation. And this is where Aragi says, like, the living message that has been left, it is possible that the victims were doing that, but if the victims were putting the messages, then that would mean Kiseki probably went there and introduced herself as Dystopia, because nobody would recognize her. Her hair is different color, her eyes are different color. So there you go. Or if that is not the case, maybe Kiseki herself kept wrote those to throw the investigation off. So there you go. And that whole FC at least was something that Kiseki wrote. That is definitely confirmed, because she wanted the investigation to completely derail. So instead of focusing on the basketball club girls, people would now look at the fan club. So that was like a complete thing that would derail the investigation. That's why she gave that, wrote that at the very end. Destroying evidence, fabricating an alibi, all these things. There you go. So basically, this is what happened. The chronological order as to how everything went. Here we go. I'm going to read this. 0th victim, Soa Kiseki, obviously. 0.55th victim, Dystopia, food poisoning. We saw that. Then first victim, Kie Harimaze. Second victim, Kiyomi Kuchimoto. Third victim, Aburi Honno. Fourth victim, Misago Kangu. There you go. That is what happened. So, that is how everything went. So Dystopia is like, damn, so you figured it out, so all these has been going on, so right. Right, so this is where Gain is like, so who do you think she's going to go for, Koyomi? And Arag is like, wait, is this what I think it is? Yeah, obviously, they're going to go towards Kanbaru's place because they're having that whole meeting over there. So they immediately go, take the car and they start going towards that direction. Here we go. Kiseki might not necessarily know the gathering of the Suruga Kanbaru and Seiyu Higasa regime. And even if she did, she may be limiting the targets only to the current team members, obviously. Yeah, so she's going over there. Okay, so this is where Aragi says an interesting thing. She says that for a vampire, creating a minion is not evil. And in this particular case, Kiseki is clearly using her vampirization powers to make personal subjective moves. It's if it's acting as something positive for the victim in question, would that mean it's not evil? Wait a minute. Just a minute. Uh, right. So okay, I see what Aragi is saying. Yeah, so he's saying like if the result is actually helping someone, that's if it's acting as something positive for the victim in question, would that mean it's not evil? So basically Aragi is saying the fact that dystopia like bit Kiseki, Kiseki became a vampire, and now it's actually acting as something like she wasn't inconvenienced by it. More so, it actually became something that is like helping her in this situation. So that's why he like Aragi is saying. So does that mean that it's not evil what Dystopia did? I think that's what Aragi is trying to say here. On top of that, Suicide Master has failed both in blood sucking Kiseki and in making her a minion, and therefore you could call it like an attempt. Arag is like, wait, I don't know, but she succeeded in vampirization, and Gain is like, she failed at making her a minion. By a minion, she means that a person who actually listens to her. She didn't listen to her. More so, she attacked her. So that's not a minion. So she failed in making a minion. Also, not only that, the fact that she never had any intentions of making a minion in itself means that the fact that she made a minion means it's a failed attempt. She just wanted a meal. She didn't want to make a minion. There we go. So that's it. It was just nothing more than a source of nutrients to dress up for a reunion. How she turned the girl into a vampire unintentionally means that she failed in the vampirization as well. Yeah, that is true. 100% true. So it's all a failure. Okay. Right. So Aragi says that isn't there a possibility for the girls to become human again? However, what about Kiseki though? Will she be able to come back? And this is where Gain is like, she'll have to make that decision. I'm guessing it's the same situation like Aragi faced, like whether she wants to become a human or not, that kind of thing. Right. So this is where she kind of does a little bit of Photoshop, and she's like, oh look, this is probably what she'll look like: golden hair and golden eyes. Kiseki, the vampire Kiseki. Right. So Gain says like, I need you to infiltrate a pajama party of high school girls. So there you go. That's your mission. Right. So then after that, Aragi goes and opens the door of the meeting. All the girls are there. Kanbaru's there. Higasa's there, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's Aragi senpai! It's that Aragi senpai! Senjugahara senpai's boyfriend, Hanako Tsubasa's friend." What else? Kanbaru's master. Wait a minute. This part is hilarious. What other Aragi senpai is there? Hanako senpai's friend, Senjogahara senpai's boyfriend, Oikura senpai's childhood friend, and above Kanbaru's master. And the person, the delinquent who graduated, it's that Aragi senpai, and everyone's like just going crazy about it. Anyways, Kanba's not really wearing a pajama. Aragi says like, what the hell is this? And typical banter that he usually has with Kanbaru. Seeing that, everyone bursts into laughter, and this is where Higasa's like, oh, but since you're here, you'll have to dress up in pajamas. And Aragi's like, okay, so maybe some brother or father. And she's like, oh no, she doesn't there's no male clothes over here. You'll have to wear the girls' pajamas. There you go. And they're like, don't worry, we all of us girls are very tall and very they're actually quite big, all of them. So they're like, don't worry, your size, it'll fit. Next episode he'll have to dress up. Good lord. And that's where it ended. So yeah, that was today's episode. Really good episode, and we got the mystery has been solved, and now we have to catch the person who is doing all of this. So yeah, to do that, Aragi will have to make a few decisions here and a few sacrifices or whatever. But yeah, we'll see how this goes next week. So that is it. That was my reaction to episode number 13 of Monogatari Off and Monster Season. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. That is it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Monogatari. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.